Recently, I come to realize that a lot of times I made the most important decisions in my life because of fears. It's quite ironic, right? How fears shape and change my life. So I want to share with you my stories of the most fearful moments in my life and how I learned to embrace them. It was not easy. It has never been and will never be. But I hope by sharing with you what happened to me, what I decided to do, and why, you feel less lonely. And I hope it offers us an opportunity to connect and communicate with each other. The first fear is the fear of breaking conservative beliefs in society. As a girl growing up in an environment with traditions and expectations, there were times, many times, that I was challenged to pursue what I wanted. Oftentimes, I made decisions and even achievements that people did not expect. For example, at the age of 17, I started a project with two of my classmates that won a national competition and got us a chance to attend a science and engineering fair in the US. It was a life-changing experience. I met students of my age from all over the world. I saw how they could create, innovate, and make discoveries. I was fascinated and I was inspired. I was hoping to expand and bring this experience to many more students in Vietnam. And I wanted to integrate this journey into my future studying at university in Vietnam. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen as I expected. I went to medical school for 1 year, but halfway through, I started to feel so out of place. I was lagging behind and eventually failed my exam. That was disappointing, but I asked myself, why? What happened? Where did my motivation go? And I realized that medical school was just not the most suitable environment for me, that I was lacking of a creative and innovative space that I was craving for. So what were my options? I could drop out, but that was scary and terrifying for me to do. I would become a disappointment. No one would encourage or support my decision. I wanted to study abroad. I needed a change. More than that, I felt like I needed to run away from the current environment and start over again. But that was nearly impossible, mainly because my parents could never afford the cost for me to study abroad. And I felt really guilty. And at some point, I felt that I was so ungrateful towards my parents for wanting such a thing. But there was another fear, a fear of living life as people expected, rather than living one that I actually wanted. A fear of giving up even before trying. That fear grew bigger and bigger, and it overwhelmed the other fear, and it pushed me to take actions. So I dropped out. Fortunately, after dropping out of medical school, I got into the University of Hong Kong. And that was one of the best decisions that I've made in my life so far. This story taught me a very important thing. It helped me realize how my courage grew as large as my fear. It showed me how when both my courage and fear existed together, they pushed me towards taking actions. And by taking actions, I came closer to my achievement and eventually succeeded. So, if you are facing the same fear, if people are telling you what you want is impossible, then I would say embrace your fears, but take actions. Take action so that you also grow your courage. Take small steps every day so that you come closer to succeeding and achieving what you want. The second fear is the fear of not knowing myself, of losing myself. And I faced this after my second year at university. At the age of 20, I was lost. I was lost because after dropping out of medical school, I could not start over. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. Even though I still study biology and chemistry, I could not find meanings in what I was doing. I didn't know exactly what I could do in the future to help other people. I could become a researcher. I could become a STEM educator, or I could work in a company. But those options didn't spark any meaningful thing to me at that point. So I realized I needed a break. I needed time to think and reflect on the past years. So I had an idea. I wanted to go back to Vietnam to volunteer full time for at least 6 months. That would give me a chance to understand about my society, to actually know what people needed, and those would help me to realize my roles and help me to find what I want to contribute to other people in the future. So I was looking for an opportunity like that and came across a United Nations volunteering program. There was one project that was really interesting to me. It was within UNICEF working on improving justice system for children in Vietnam. Even though that was really interesting, it didn't really match with my profile. Moreover, it didn't really fit into my future career at all. But somehow, I saw so many opportunities to learn and do things, meaningful things, during the next 6 months. I could help other people. I could protect children in Vietnam. I could learn and understand more about the legal system in the country where I'm from. So I applied and I got the offer. And I learned so many things in 6 months that didn't translate directly into my career or studying, but left impacts lifelong that shaped my future. I'll give you an example. A lesson about communication that I learned from my supervisor at UNICEF. She taught me and showed me that even if I am working in science and medical field, I still need to learn how to communicate and talk to people across different sectors. Let's say I want to integrate my research and findings into helping other people, helping patients. Then I could not restrict myself within academia. I needed to collaborate with people from government, from NGO, from company, people working in social services in order to bring my findings and my studies into helping other people in the society. And that was really powerful because it helped me see my roles even as a scientist in the society. Also, that gap gave me time to think and make the connection between medicine and researching. And I realized overall that I was determined that I wanted to start researching in medical field. That encouraged me to go back to my university and started my career in my third year and continue until today. So if you are in a crossroad, if you are lost, but you have an idea, you wanted to start a project, you wanted to apply for that odd job or internship, then I would say take that chance, reach out, Take that chance to expand your horizon, meet new people, because those opportunities, even though it seems like it doesn't fit directly into your current career path, it will help you to understand and learn about yourself. It helps you to find meanings, and it helps you to find out your roles and what you want to contribute to society in the future. And those will guide you to a meaningful and fulfilling career. Now, the last fear that I want to share is the fear of loss. I mentioned I wanted to become a doctor in the past, and I am in biomedical science research field at the moment. So, how did I start? Why did I start? Why did I start? I started because of fear. I started because I faced one of the biggest fear when I was 10 years old. I fear of losing my family due to disease. It was a normal morning. My dad was riding me to school, driving me to school. Suddenly he felt unwell. He felt so unwell that we had to stop and took a rest by sitting on a pavement. After 10-15 minutes, my dad had to call my mom. And in those 10-15 minutes, a fear grew inside of me. I fear not knowing what was going on, but I couldn't ask. I fear not knowing what to do. I fear not knowing if I could do anything. So I didn't and I couldn't do anything at that time. At the end of my school day on that day, my mom could not come to pick me up, and my teacher told me that I had to wait for a relative to come later on. So I waited, and I waited until all my friends left, and I realized that it was quite late, and my little sister was about to get off from her kindergarten as well. And I thought I didn't want my sister to wait alone. So I started walking from my primary school to my little sister kindergarten. During that walk, for 1 kilometer approximately, I thought about what had happened in the morning. I thought about how powerless I felt as a 10-year-old girl, and I was determined to become a powerful adult in the future. I thought I wanted to become someone who knew what happened to my dad, who could help him. And as a kid, I thought a doctor would know exactly what to do. And that's how I started. 15 years later, I faced the same fear. I faced the fear of losing my family because of COVID-19. This time, unfortunately, I lost my dad. But instead of being powerless, I decided to be brave for my mom and little sister. I decided that I have to be brave to support them through the most critical times. Facing my fear one more time reminded me of how I started, why I started, and how far I've come. My fear also embraced the courage inside of me. It helped me realize that even though I've come so far during my journey of self-development, there are a lot rooms for me to learn and grow. So those are the fears that I want to share with you. I hope that by being honest with my fear, by being vulnerable, I share with you something meaningful today. And I hope they help you with your fears. Thank you very much.